Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern. and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the desert as we are here in Avondale, Arizona, the Phoenix Raceway, playing host to race number 5 of Season 6 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Now, we've run Phoenix in the previous 5 seasons, but we've run the, we'll call it reconfigured ISM in those seasons. We're throwing it back here in Season 6 as we are at the original configuration of Phoenix, where most people now in current NASCAR would be used to the dog leg being the home of the start-finish line. It's actually on what would be now the current back straightaway where the start-finish line is, the old front stretch. That's going to be important because turns 1 and 2 currently has kind of been a deciding factor in passes onto the back straightaway, but here today, this season, the Duracell Cup Series, that flat 3 and 4, a high, heavy braking passing zone could be the difference into whether you're going to cross the start-finish line as the winner or maybe as runner-up. But we've had a couple of races here this season where it's come down to photo finishes. Daytona, we had a photo finish, and a couple of weeks ago at Las Vegas, we had a photo finish. So we may end up seeing something along those lines here today. But as these drivers prepare for 78 circuits around this racetrack, just a little over a mile in length, we got to talk about what's taken place here in the first 4 races. 4 different drivers have gone to victory lane. Chevy finally snapping the Ford winning streak that was Chris Dollerton, Mitchell Collins, and William Howard in the first 3 races, with Joshua Osborne's last lap pass last week at Pocono en route to his first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. He jumped up a ton in points as well, gaining 16 spots. He is now 10th in overall points here today. You got former winners William Howard and Mitchell Collins. They're also up in the top 2 in points right now, first and second subsequently. Driver we're going to have to keep an eye on today, though, would be Chris Dollerton, our Daytona 500 winner. While he did open up the season strong with that win in the Great American Race, in the last 3 races, it's really been anything but stellar, and he finds himself right now 27th in points. Now, it was mentioned at the beginning of the season, the way to make your way into the playoffs is to have a victory, but you must also be inside the top 25 in points to keep that playoff spot via victory. And Dollerton right now is 2 spots below that cut line. He's also only 2 points behind the cut line, so really no need to panic at this point in time. So far, we've had 4 different drivers go to victory lane, but there's another 38 drivers in the field here today. They'd love to make their first trek into victory lane as well, as Rob Evans going to line up on the pole position. Matter of fact, our front row consists of drivers that really haven't gotten off to the best start and really could use a good run here today. I get the feeling, just based off what we saw in practice, track position is going to be very important. So Rob Evans, who comes into this race 32nd in points, only 1 top 10 in the first 4 races, going to be leading us to the green, and he'll be alongside of Reese Banks. Reese gained a couple of spots in points last week, a somewhat decent run at Pocono, but still 36th in points and still searching for his first top 10 as a rookie. A little bit of good news, though, for Reese Banks, in the fact that last year there were only 2 rides that were fielded out of Lake Effect Autosport. They finished first and second, with Bradley Ream picking up the victory and Stephen Colon finishing in second. The 44 is out of Lake Effect Autosport, so maybe some of the notes that they were able to get from last year, even though it was a different configuration, but still the same racetrack, they might be able to apply it here today. But I think, as I mentioned as well, it's the first season with the next-gen car, so all the notes that you had from previous seasons, they may not even apply here in Season 6. But without further ado, it's time to go down trackside, and it's time to get those most famous words in motorsports at Phoenix.
Drivers, start your engines!
You'll see on the right side of your screen today's official starting lineup. And then you'll also see the previous winners from here at Phoenix. 4 of the previous 5 race winners are in the field here today. 3 of them out of the S3 Motorsports stables. William Hoer, winner from Las Vegas, is the points leader coming into today. Mitchell Collins, who won at Manassas, he will be second in points, 28 points back. Levi McIntyre's third, he's 29 points back. Matt Haas, who rolls off third today, he's 35 points back, fourth in the stands. Ali Liera, who rolls off fifth on the grid, she is also fifth in overall points, 37 points out. RJ Bishop, Jack Dunnard, Laura Chung, Reggie Fogelman, and Joshua Osborne, last week's winner. That's your top 10 in points. 49 points separating the top 10 in the standings. 3 of our 4 former winners inside the top 10. Dollarton, the only one that is not, as mentioned, 27th in points. We'll keep track of him during the course of the day. But 78 laps in the desert await us, and Rob Evans gets us under green at Phoenix. Topside, out of turn 2. Gets Reese Banks the race lead going into 3. As we're 3 wide further back around the 3rd, 4th position. Matt Haas is trapped in the middle. Ali Liera on the inside. Reggie Fogelman on the top side. And lap 1 will be led by the rookie Reese Banks in the 44. Phoenix isn't super wide, though it may look like it. You really don't want to venture up too high because of the low banking, especially in 3 and 4. You can go up and get that outside wall. Settle it out to side-by-side for third between Liera and Matt Haas, but they're still 3 wide behind them. Jack Dunnard tried it on Jessica Shelton, the inaugural winner of this race back in Season 1. There was a point here at Phoenix where S3 Motorsports owned this racetrack. Shelton won in Season 1, Kyle Matthews in Season 2, and Charles Sanford in Season 3. That completed the S3 Motorsports sweep of drivers for the team at that point in time. They then brought Cole Deaver on. And Deaver almost picked up a victory here at Phoenix back in Season 4, but came up short to Ryan Brommer. All 4 of those drivers, Shelton, Matthews, Sanford, and Brommer, in the field here today. Bradley Ream, the defending winner, not in the field. Well, we mentioned the fact that last year he was driving the number 74 for Lake Effect Autosports. Was in a good battle with his then teammate Stephen Colon, who was driving the 47 in that race, and it was a 1-2 finish. And right now you've got a Lake Effect Autosport car showing the way here in that Domino's Pizza Ford Mustang. Ali Liera looks like she's in control of third. Reggie Fogelman in fourth. First side-by-side battles taking place just outside of the top 10. That's where you find Cole Deaver side-by-side with Jose Mills. Got Chris Dollarton there with RJ Bishop. Charles Sanford just got clear of that group. 3 wide a little bit further back there I saw for a moment. That was last week's winner Joshua Osborne, along with one half of the defending champs Caleb Fogler. Cody Lamas was also in that mix. RJ Bishop 6th in points coming into this race. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. This is a home track for RJ Bishop. Just trying to see what he can do in front of his home crowd as Charles Sanford under fire from Jose Mills. William Hoer, who's been the incredible rookie sensation so far this year, hunting Jack Dunnard. That would be for 7th. Reese Banks has not been able to get away from Rob Evans, and in turn, those two are starting to get reeled in by Ali Liera. Last time by, Allie ran in the 29.0s, while the top two ran a 29.1 for Evans and a 29.2 for Reese Banks. So Allie is closing. It's interesting, the last couple of racetracks we've been to, we've talked about tire conservation. Pocono was a big one last week. And here today at Phoenix will be no different. Hot, slick temperatures, not a lot of banking. These cars are going to be slipping and sliding around. Those Goodyears are going to get worn down, and grip will be optimal on fresh tires. And of course, as well, on preserving those Goodyears for the long run. Teammates for second place. Liera pulls up to the back bumper of Rob Evans, who lost touch with Reese Banks. Now he had a good run there on the front straightaway. Ooh, right almost into the back bumper of Rob Evans going into turn one. Really surprised she hasn't showed the nose yet. Might be waiting to do it down here into 3 and 4. Nope, not yet. Can't wait too long because Reggie Fogelman, Jessica Shelton are closing in as well. Matt Haas, who's certainly looking for some redemption from last week, came up runner-up to Joshua Osborne in his hometown race at Pocono. For those wondering what the playoffs would look like right now, when we get to the second half of the regular season after the All-Star race, we will be having pre-race showing you a current playoff point standings, but with the first 13 races of the season, with the points as close as they are, we're not going to have that graphic up. But right now, can tell you that obviously 3 drivers are currently in the top 3 seeds, William Howard, Mitchell Collins, and Joshua Osborne. That leaves 13 spots available right now for drivers to get in via points, since Dollarton, coming into this race, was not inside the top 25 in points. Those 13 drivers would be as follows: Levi McIntyre, Matt Haas, Ellie Liera, RJ Bishop, Jack Dunnard, Laura Chung, Reggie Fogelman, Zachary Fitzwater, Michael Norman, Jose Mills, Samuel Ryder, Caleb Vogler, and James Qualls after his great run last week as well. Right now, he would be in the final playoff position prior to them taking the green flag. See these drivers running well up here at the front. Let's check about the back of the pack there. A couple of drivers I noticed that are way back here. There's the car. Well, oh, we got a wreck. Oh, hold on. Caution's out. Nathan Orman just went around in front of the field and got Jesse Turner, Dylan Young. And who was the other one that I just saw there? LaPlante in the 48. Caution waves for the first time today. And Nathan Orman, I thought, was just about to hit the pit wall as well. Yellow flag, first time today. Just when we dropped back to look at the rear of the field, we saw that wreck happen live. And it involved 3 Fords and a Chevrolet. Might have been a couple of others that got bits and pieces of it. And this might make things interesting in terms of pit strategy now. About 13, 14 laps of green flag condition racing. Wouldn't be surprised if we see everybody dive onto pit road here. It's like the timing of that caution kind of split the field up there. I think 4th place had crossed the line. 5th place was just getting ready to cross the line, so that's why you see the separation there. I'd rather that than what we saw last week at Pocono, where we saw the stack up that took out about a dozen drivers. Pit road's open, and here comes everyone. Nobody gonna roll the dice and stay out, get a bonus point for a lap led. The risk just too great. So as Reese Banks, the rookie, brings him down pit road, let's see if we can dial in what exactly happened. Nathan Ormond was the car that went around. I did not see that initial contact, only saw the follow-up contact with drivers driving into it. It's like maybe Nathan Norman, Michael Norman, Nick Gunther, maybe contact between any of those drivers. Here's a look. Going into 3. Orman tried to force it 3 wide, and there wasn't enough room. Makes contact with Nick Gunther, and that's a big hit there for Dylan Young. Jesse Turner, Austin LaPlante, Ryan Brommer might have gotten a piece of it there too. Former winner here at Phoenix. Let's take another angle at it. Yeah, I think Orman drives in. Yeah, he kind of drives into the right rear of Nick Gunther. Oh man, Dylan Young just nowhere to go. Dustin Bolin and Ryan Brommer got some side damage, I think, out of that. And you see Dylan Young could not refire his race car, as I believe he's already being towed to the garage area. It has not been a good start to the season for Dylan Young. Poor performance last week, dropped 16 spots in the standings down to 26th, and now going to be the first driver DNFing from today's race at Phoenix. Let's go on board with Dylan Young's 2 car. On the top side, I think he was 3 wide with Jesse Turner and Benjamin Snyder, so he had nowhere to go and just full impact into the back of Nathan Ormond. Teleported the car back to pit road, but nothing they could do. The impact to the front end of the race car, and that is day done for Dylan Young, who will finish out 42nd here today at Phoenix. Nathan Orman looks like he has returned to the track, but he is going to be a lap down. And the battle off of pit road, somewhat similar to what they looked like when they came to pit lane, with the exception of maybe a couple of spots. Reggie Fogelman and Ali Liera, they swapped third. It's like everybody else, for the most part, all are in the same spots they were in before, at least inside of the top 10. Ormond will be the lap machine to the inside that the leaders will have to contend with here in the early going of this restart. Reese Banks the leader, Rob Evans in second, Reggie Fogelman third, Ali Liera and Jessica Shelton complete the top 5, then Matt Haas, Jack Dunnard, Will Hoer, Charles Sanford, and Cody Lamas. That is the top 10, as we'll go back green on lap 19 of 78. 41 cars still running, 40 on the lead lap. The only retiree, Dylan Young. And Reese Banks trying to be the second rookie to find victory lane here this season. William Hoer was, of course, the first, trying to be the third driver in a row to get their first career victory. How much of a hindrance is that 34 going to be on the inside line? Reese Banks trying to clear him by the time they get into turn 1. Not going to be able to do so. Will clear him off turn 2. Remember, Reese Banks got the lead from Rob Evans, who was the pole sitter around the outside of turn 2 at the initial start of this race. So that was obviously very helpful, one would have to think, for Reese in his ability to be able to get around Nathan Orman, the lap car, who is now kind of creating a bit of a roadblock. Ali Liera took him 3 wide. Shelton now stuck behind the 34. Orman trying to do all he can to stay out of the way. You see him go way up the racetrack there, open up a lane for the 0-2. Oh, Joshua Osborne's going to get spun off the nose of, was that Chris Dollerton? Right in front of the field. He gets hit by Noah Hendrickson and Anthony McCrory. They're still wrecking as Benjamin Snyder's gotten a piece of the 80. And caution is out for the second time today. Osborne and Dollerton, a couple of former winners this season, getting together on the back straightaway. Hendrickson and Snyder, a couple of rookies, collected up in it. There's the 74 of Benjamin Snyder. A lot of right front damage as it just got completely shredded after he got into Noah Hendrickson. I don't see any smoke pouring from underneath the 74, so they might be able to repair it, but that's a lot of damage that they're going to have to fix. Hendrickson could not refire the car. He had to teleport to pit road, and we only ran not even 2 laps, I think they're under green. So do we come back to pit road? I guess we do. But now we get the splitting of strategies. Ali Liera, Jack Dunnard, William Hoer and company say, no, we're not giving up the track position for fresh tires. We're staying out. I don't know if Liera led that lap or not. Yes, she did. So Ali Liera going to be the second driver to lead a lap here today. Let's go back to the backstretch and see what happened with our most recent winner and our first winner of the season. Anthony McCurry, we know, got a piece of it as well in the 61. What happens here through 1 and 2? This is around the 13th position, and it just looks like, I don't know if Osborne was just way too far up the racetrack, but Dollerton clearly gets into his left rear, and then you saw everybody avoid the 27 for the most part. Anthony McCurry got into the 80 of Hendrickson. I think Hendrickson was the one that really took the biggest brunt of all of the hits. He's the one that got the 27. Trying to figure out which lane to go, picks the wrong one. Anthony's into the back of him, and then right there is where Benjamin Snyder gets involved. Well, there were a lot of drivers that sliced and diced their way around Anthony McCurry, who was obviously off the pace after he got into the back of Hendrickson. Watch this. Let's focus on the 61. Watch how everybody's going to fan out inside and outside right here through the dogleg. Chung goes high. Moore goes low. Moore was all sorts of sideways. LaPlante goes to the grass. A little contact there between Turner and Ryder. They all got through it. Well, you got to have some really good reflexes to be able to avoid a wreck, especially in an area like the dogleg. Let's go on board with the 89 of Quentin Moore. Now watch just how quickly he has to evade this wreck. So right there, back end steps out, but he got through it. Nice piece of driving there by the rookie out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Two more drivers back in the garage area as a result of our second caution of the day. Both of them rookies. Benjamin Snyder's going to finish in 40th here today. Noah Hendrickson in 41st. They will join Dylan Young back in the garage area. Snyder and Young did not have the best of qualifying efforts. Dylan Young was 37th, and Benjamin Snyder started shotgun on the field. Noah Hendrickson, though, was 14th at the start of this race. Lights out. 1 lap to green. Ormond back to the inside of now new race leader Ali Liera. Top 10's gotten a bit of a facelift when we had about 5 or 6 drivers hit pit road, giving up very valuable track position. Jack Dunnard will be now 2nd, William Hoer in 3rd, 4th Charles Sanford, Jessica Shelton 5th, Cole Deaver 6th, 7th Cody Lamas, 8th RJ Bishop, Jose Mills is 9th, and Chris Dollerton, who had that contact with Joshua Osborne that triggered the last wreck, he's going to complete the top 10. Reese Banks, who was the first one to pit road, was not the first one to leave pit road. Reggie Fogelman was, and Fogelman's going to restart in 31st position. Everyone else that pitted will restart behind. Back to 38th. Green flag back in the air. Ali Liera going to lead us into turn 1. It's been a long winless streak for Ali Liera. Going back to Dover of, I believe it was season 3. No, it would have been season 2. Back when Joanna Atwood Motorsports drove Toyotas. It was the championship season for then teammate Ryan Acosta. Jack Dunnard. A little wide there through 1 and 2. Might get a good launch off the second corner down the back straightaway. About a little less than a car length separation. And then look who's in 3rd. William Hoer. I cannot help but be impressed with this rookie. Keep talking about the fact that the rookie stripes don't matter. It doesn't mean that they've never raced a car before. It's just the first time they raced in the Duracell Cup Series, and so more often than not, you have a couple of drivers donning those rookie stripes that stand out to you, and Hoer has got to be one of those drivers. 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s in the first 4 races. Of course, the victory at Las Vegas and leading the point standings. I don't think a rookie could get off to a better start. Jessica Shelton's lost a couple of positions here in the last couple of laps. Might have been due to the 34 of Nathan Ormond. Cole Deaver got around her teammate. Now up to 5th, Cody Lamas moved up to 6th, and Shelton now back in the 7th spot under fire from RJ Bishop. Dollarton's right now holding down 9th, just ran his fastest lap of the race. James Qualls right behind him, and then there's Rick Johnson in the 93. As Oliveira begins to pull away by about a car length and a half over Jack Dunnard. You know, it's interesting when I was thinking back to last week's race at Pocono, Joshua Osborne picking up the victory. Joanna Atwood Motorsports has really, to me, been an under-the-radar team. A team that maybe people don't necessarily look in the direction of as one of the strongest teams in the Duracell Cup Series, but they really are. They really are when you consider the fact that they've led several drivers to their first career victories, the most recent being Joshua Osborne, but Wyatt Quayle, Nathan Ormond, Al Oliveira, then known as Johnny Gardner, Ryan Acosta. All those drivers got their first career wins with Joanna Atwood Motorsports. And of course, as well, we've had 5 different teams win the championship here in the Duracell Cup Series. Joanna Atwood Motorsports was one of those teams back in Season 2 with Ryan Acosta. 4 of the 5 winning championship teams are still in operation. S3 Motorsports, of course, the defending championship team. You had Carson Gum with Pigeon Racing in Season 3, and then Blue Oval Automotive with Jordan Lopez in Season 4. The only defunct team that won a championship was back in Season 1 with Chris Dollarton, Rockin' Ranch Racing, although both drivers that were part of that team are still in the field here in Season 6, that being Chris Dollarton and Levi McIntyre. Well, Dunnard's losing touch with Liera, but now getting caught by William Hoer and Charles Sanford. Another talking point we had here at the beginning of the season was kind of the struggle as second place battle. Hoer shows the nose into turn 1, but was the S3 Motorsports team as a whole really just struggling to get decent finishes. Right now you've got 3 of them up inside of the top 8. Kyle Matthews is currently back in the 15th position, so all 4 of them doing really well right now. And last week was actually, I think, a little bit of a turning point for that team as well. They're starting to slowly climb their way out of the bottom of the point standings. Charles Sanford still the highest of the team in overall point standings. He's 18th in points, but you had Kyle Matthews, now 33rd in points. Shelton climbed up 3 spots last week. Is 3 wide for second. Charles Sanford going to stick his nose in there going into 3. How is this going to work? Oh, the accordion back up together. They're off of 4, and Charles is going to have to be the one to back out, leaving it back between Hoer and Dunnard. But Cole Deaver is now up 2 spots out of the dead last position in points. He's 40th, and as mentioned, all 4 of them right now run up inside of the top 15, so bit of a turning point here for the defending series championship team. Hoer continuing to try and complete this pass on Jack Dunnard. Dunnard hanging tough on that top side and not going to go away yet. Hoer is still not clear. Cole Deaver just got around Charles Sanford. So move that Wheaties Good Wrench Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback up to the 4th position. Sanford not going to let that go quietly, though. He's still all over the back bumper. Cody Lama's going to lose some spots here. RJ Bishop just got around him for 7th, and now Shelton drives her Coors Chevrolet to the inside, trying to freight train the Florida Panthers Chevrolet out of Lama Racing. And a big reason for all of this is because of this battle for second place. It's wadding everybody up, and it's leading to more side-by-sides all the way back through the top 10. Ali Liera's got to be loving this because she's been able to hold a about a 3, almost 4 car length gap back to now second place William Hoer, who completes that pass around Dunnard. Hoer going to try and run Liera down as Deaver. I don't know if he might have just brushed the wall there off of turn 4. He got close. Almost looked like he lost a little bit of momentum, but that could have been him bailing out of the throttle in order to not hit the wall off the final corner. So the spot he gained on Sanford, he's going to lose, and maybe then some, because RJ Bishop is now to his inside for what would be the 5th position. Now it bears remembering we had about 7 or 8 drivers that came to pit lane under the second caution. They'd be able to go a couple laps further if we have around a green flag pit stops than everybody else who elected to stay out. The highest running of that group right now would be Reggie Fogelman, who is up to the 26th position. Reese Banks just a couple spots back in 28th. And remember, those guys restarted back around the 30th, 31st spot, so they've been making some good progress. Let's drop back and see if we can find those cars. Ooh, Cody might have gotten the wall there. We're 3 wide. We'll drop back in a minute. Make sure that this settles out. Keith Batson putting Mitchell Collins in the middle. Kyle Matthews and Destin Bolin right there as well. That's Michael Norman, the 22, just up ahead. And Dr. Pepper Ford. Looks like they settle it out. Let's go back, try and find that 24 of Reggie Fogelman, who's got the freshest tires. Up towards the front, he's working on Laura Chung in the 77 for 24th place. There comes a point, though, on a long green flag run where the tires even out. Whether you've got the advantage or not, you've got to take advantage of that in the beginning stages of the race. Because those tires are going to wear just as much as the tires of those that elected to stay out. They're still in Poteet in the 31. Right now he's 41st in points. Holding down the 17th position, Levi McIntyre in the 99, who started this race from the '28th spot. When we dropped back and saw the first wreck, he was actually running at the tail end of the field. He's now worked his way up inside of the top 20, 18th place last time by. Kyle Matthews making a pass there on Cody Lamas. I think Cody really has worn those tires down. Saw him look like brush the wall at one point, and that might be affecting him as well. He is free-falling back outside of the top 15 now. Qualls Bishop. This is for 6th. Shelton and Johnson side by side for 8th. Michael Norman entering into the picture there in the 22. As they all continue to chase the 16 of Ali Liera, who's got a 2.5 second lead over William Hoer. And might not even have that now, as Hoer has been able to reel in that AccuDoc Solutions Chevrolet, bringing Jack Dunnard and Charles Sanford along with him. Chevrolet has 3 victories here at Phoenix. Dodge has 1. Ford has 1. 2 manufacturers looking to break into winner's circle here at Phoenix, Toyota and Mazda. Of course, that'll be the case for Mazda every track we go to, since Mazda has never been run in the Duracell Cup Series up until this season. Nick Gunther, though, has done a pretty good job not only having to get used to a new car, but a new manufacturer. He's 20th in overall points, still chasing his first top 10 of the year. Average finishing position of just over 20th place. Nick Gunther, remember, was a former winner last season at Bristol Dirt. That subsequently helped get the 55 car out of Gunther Motorsports into the playoffs, along with his then teammates Anthony McCurry and Mike Tellier. Well, I shouldn't say then teammates for Anthony McCurry, because they're still teammates here at Fortnite Squad Racing. And I might be wrong, but I think I'm hearing an idling engine up ahead. I would hazard a guess that probably would be Nathan Ormond in the 34, so lap traffic might come into play here. Allie's just now coming out of turn number 4. Ormond is, oh wow, even closer than I thought. That's about, what, maybe 3 seconds ahead of the race leader right there? From start-finish line hitting of the 34 to start-finish line hitting of the 16. I'd say it's about probably correct. More than halfway through this race, so that would say to me that if and when these drivers do come to pit road, it'll probably be their only pit stop of the day under green flag conditions. They probably wouldn't have to come to pit road again. William Hoare is putting the pressure now on Oliveira. Almost drove into her left rear quarter panel there as he drove it deep into turn 1. Had to get on the brakes to avoid bumping the 16. And now we'll see if he's able to do something as they're going to catch up to Nathan Ormond. And if this wides the leaders up, this is going to bring Charles Sanford into the conversation. RJ Bishop and company, they're about 2 seconds back from the top 4, so it's really a 4-horse race up here at the front. Nice job there by Oliveira, showing the nose early to Nathan Ormond, saying, I'm taking this line, give me an opening. And Ormond, being the gracious lap machine, does just that. This time by, going to be 50 laps in the books. Here at Phoenix, Oliveira has been out in front for 30 of them. Reese Banks has led the other 20. Only 2 drivers have led so far here today at Phoenix. If you're just joining us, we've worked 2 cautions during the course of this race. 39 drivers still running, 38 on the lead lap. 3 drivers back in the garage area, including Benjamin Snyder, Noah Hendrickson, and Dylan Young. Well, Oliveira in the first 4 races, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, average finishing position of 13th and 5th in overall points. So if Ali is able to hang on and pick up this victory, she would be in line for a playoff position. If I recall correctly, and I might be wrong, but that last victory that I remember Ali having back in Season 2 at Dover, I don't think she made the playoffs that year. I think that she was so far down in points that she didn't get a playoff position despite that trip to victory lane. I could be wrong in that fact. I could be wrong in my memory there. I'll look back and I'll confirm, hopefully for next week. But I think if Ali is able to win today, which right now William Hoare is trying to stop that as he's to the inside for the top position, but if Ali's able to close this deal out, pick up the victory, and subsequently make the playoffs, it might be for the first time in her Duracell Cup Series career. I'll have to go back and fact check myself on that. Of course, the next week's going to be a lot of fun. The debuting North Wilkesboro Raceway here in the Duracell Cup Series. Cannot wait for that race. That race is going to be a lot of fun to observe, to call. This battle is fun to watch right now. Oliveira says, all right, William, you want to pass me? You're going to have to claw it away from me. Ali's holding very tough on that top side. And Jack Dunnard's trying to figure out, where do I go? Do I take them 3 wide? Do I follow somebody through? He's going to start stacking them up. All of a sudden, that 2-second deficit that RJ Bishop had to make up, it's gone. Top 5 are now. Throw a blanket over him on the back straightaway, as I think Hoare may get Liera this time. Ooh, clipped the rumble strip, got a little loose, a little squirrely. Look at Ali drive it in deep. I think actually the 83 is coming to pit road. William Hoare is coming in. Charles Sanford, RJ Bishop as well. So green flag pit stops. And let's see how this cycles things out. Cole Deaver is coming down this time as well in the 08. Ryan Butcher I saw back there in the 78 pitting this time. Based off of when we went back green, yeah, these drivers should be within the fuel window to make it the rest of the way, pitting from this point on. Looks like Ali's coming in this time. Got to be careful, got to get on the brakes, don't let the back end of the car slide out. Don't run it too wide or you'll hit that pit wall. It's a very difficult transition to get onto pit lane as most everybody's coming down this time. Kyle Matthews and Cody Lamas are going to stay out an extra lap. Did Matthews lead that lap? Yes, he did. Anybody else roll the dice and stay out a little bit longer? Yeah, most of these drivers back here who remember Fogelman, Reese Banks, they had come to pit road under the last caution, so they can go a little further. Looks like Benjamin Miles and Austin LaPlante, they've also stayed out, so quite a number of the Northeast Motorsports cars. Now Matthews is in, along with Cody. Yeah, these drivers are going to stay out a little bit longer. They can go another 2 or 3 laps on what they've got in the tank. Laura Chung might have actually pitted with that group back under the last caution. Not certain. Either that or she's boxed out and is not able to get to pit lane, but I think she might have pitted with that group. Miles is now up to 4th. Rob Evans there in 5th. Matt Haas in 6th. We know that all these drivers came to pit road. Oh, look out! Laura Chung and Reese Banks just went up the racetrack into the wall. No caution. As now Chung's coming to pit lane. Reese has got some right side damage now. Not sure what all went on right there. We'll be able to show you courtesy of the NNSCRA split cam, but that was very nearly the 3rd caution of the day, and it really would have thrown a monkey wrench into this race because we've got all but our top 12, I think, right now, 1 lap down based off these green flag pit stops. Lap car of Nathan Ormond on pit road as Reggie Fogelman continues to stay out and show the way. Fogelman 9th in points. Be interesting to see here after some of our top drivers like William Hoer and Al Iliera and Charles Sanford, Jack Dunnard, after they've gotten fresh tires, if they're going to be able to like really open up a gap on some of these drivers here like Fogelman and company who are out here on much older tires. Matt Haas has just completed his service from 6th place. We know he was one of the drivers that elected to stay out. There's Laura Chung just now leaving pit lane, but I think she might have had an extended stay on pit road. I think she's fallen a couple of laps down, having to repair that right side damage after getting into the wall following contact with Reese Banks. I think the 24 is coming in this time. 44 appears to be coming in as well. And this might be the race leader when all is said and done. William Hoer ahead of Al Iliera, Jack Dunner, Charles Sanford, and RJ Bishop, but not by much. These guys definitely have enough time to reel him in, and you do have the Indeed lap machine of Laura Chung that will be in front of the 83 car here. Might not be that easy to get around because I don't think the 77 is that far off the pace. Just had the elongated pit stop to repair that right side damage, but I don't think there was any internal damage done to Laura Chung's Camry. Yeah, right now, the 83 is being scored in 3rd. Currently behind the 24 and the 44. That should cycle the 83 to P1 the next time by at the start-finish line. And we'll find out all of who is on the lead lap and who is running where, as when William Hoer crosses the line, we should be at 16 laps to go. And indeed, the 83 goes to the top of the board. Not going to be able to make an easy pass here on Laura Chung. And that could be good news for 2nd place on back. Michael Norman's now in the conversation as he's caught up with this lead group. 2nd place battle under contest. Jack Dunnard and Al Iliera. This is going to hurt them more than help them, because they're not going to be able to race side by side and put down lap times that will reel William Hoer in for the top position. They're trying to fight out to see who wants to be the one to reel the 83 in. And the 83 right now, more than content to ride behind the 77, it appears, who is up to speed. That's going to help him be able to open up the gap, I would think. Ali is clear. Ooh, not quite. Tried to chop the nose off on the 88. Jack Dunnard said, no, no, no. And nearly wrecked the 16. That's about 1.2 seconds from William Hoer back to Jack Dunnard, and time is running out. They got to settle out that 2nd place battle pretty quick. Laura Chung is on the lead lap right now. Thought she'd be a lap down, but no, she is the last car on the lead lap in the 38th position. We've only got 1 car, 1 lap down or more, and that's Nathan Ormond in 39th. 38 cars still on the lead lap, including that 77. when they last cross the start-finish line, and the positions are going to change inside the top 10 with that wadded-up battle. We have second place on back, but William Hoer was the leader, Ali Liera second, Jack Dunnard third, Charles Sanford, R.J. Bishop the top 5. Then Michael Norman, Cole Deaver, Rick Johnson, Keith Batson, and James Qualls. That was the top 10. Dunnard has gotten himself clear for second. He'll look to try and reel in the 83 for the race lead, potentially the race win. Liera way up the track there through 3 and 4. As R.J. Bishop looks to take advantage for that final spot on the podium. Let's follow lap times here. That last time by, Dunnard was a 10th quicker than William Hoer. Has to make up 1.2 seconds in what will be 11 laps this next time by. Hoer is dropping off the 77. He might have used up his stuff here trying to run away from the 88. We'll compare lap times again, this time at the start-finish line. 29.286 for Hoer, 2.52 for Jack Dunnard, so about 4 100ths quicker. Going to need to take a lot more of a chunk than that if he's going to catch William Hoer. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another, so you're going to want to have about 2 or 3 laps to set him up. As Chung's about to catch up to Jesse Turner, this would be for position between those two for 37th, and if they get side by side and create a wall, that could really mess things up for the 83. Looks like that 47 might be slightly off the pace there. As Chung's going to make a pretty easy pass, it looks like, here for position. And now William Hoer, is he going to be able to get low here in 3? Ooh, contact! Sends the 47 of Jesse Turner up the racetrack there. Turner may not appreciate that, but he is a slower machine, and William Hoer is trying to preserve this top spot. Oh, we got a slow car. Is caution out? I just saw Cody Lamas come to a stop down there in turn 1. No, caution is not out, and William Hoer was very slow there through 1 and 2. Here comes Ali Liera with a big run. Something happened to Cody Lamas in the 13. His car came to a stop down at the bottom of the entrance of turn 1, and William Hoer had to get on the brakes to avoid. All of a sudden, Dunnard and Liera are right there with him, and Dunnard's looking low for the top spot. Jack Dunnard for Northeast Motorsports. He's clear. He's cleared down the back straightaway. To the point. 7th in overall standings, and Jack Dunnard in a car number that hasn't been to victory lane in I don't remember how long. William Brock was in that 88 car for season after season after season, but it was a long winless streak. Eventually, he was replaced by Dunnard. And Dunnard is about 6.5 laps away from maybe getting his first career win in the Duracell Cup Series, but now he has to deal with Turner in the 47. He'll make a lane to the inside. Ooh, a little slip up there by William Hoer. Might have gotten a rear deck lid full of Ali Liera as they're all going to try and traverse their way around the 47. R.J. Bishop still right there. Charles Sanford, Michael Norman. This thing's not done yet. And Hoer's going to drive it down to the inside of the 88. William Hoer's looking for his 2nd win on the season. Dunnard's looking for his 1st. Top 4 got themselves clear. Well, top 3 anyway, of the lap machine of Jesse Turner. And Dunnard had a nice turn 4 there, opens up about 3 car lengths back to William Hoer. 5 laps to go here. Cody Lamas still multiple laps down. Don't know if the 13 returned to the track or not. Ali got really loose there out of turn 2, trying to turn to the inside of William Hoer for 2nd. Big drive into turn 3 for William. Look at him ride that way up the racetrack there through 3 and 4. They are giving it all they got, trying to slide the back end out, get the nose pointed, mash the throttle. They don't care about rear grip right now. They are sending it. Battle is now for 2nd, Liera and Hoer. And Jack Dunnard's got to be loving that. Less than 2.5 laps remaining here at Phoenix. Jack Dunnard started this race from the 9th position. One top 5 so far this year, average finishing position of around 14th. He is the highest running of the Northeast Motorsports cars in the point standings. And he is less than 2 laps away from capturing his first career victory. Look at the gap he's been able to open up now, back to second place. It's just got to be smooth. No traffic up ahead to have to deal with. Laura Chung appears to be a little bit faster than the 88, so she's pulling away, and that's just allowing Dunner to have nothing but clean racetrack. 2 laps to go as second place under contest. Ella Liera to the inside of William Hoer. RJ Bishop going to make it a 3-way fight. Hoer holds on to the spot with a good run off of turn 2. And this time around out of turn 4, Jack Dunnard is going to see the white flag. William Hoer, the only driver so far this season that has won a race as a rookie. We've had back-to-back races where a driver's gotten their first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. We're about to go 3 in a row. 5 races here so far this season, and we're about to have 2 rookies in those 5 races get their first career win. Off turn 4 for the final time. What a drive for Jack Dunnard. 5th career start equals first career win in the Duracell Cup Series here today at Phoenix. Jack Dunnard with an incredible move to get the lead, and he pulled away once he had that Budweiser Chevrolet in clean air. Over a second back to William Hoer, who hangs on to the runner-up position, another top 5 for that 83 car. But Jack Dunnard, did he just secure himself a spot in the playoffs in his first season in the Duracell Cup Series? Not even a case of former starts in the last couple of seasons. First full-time season overall, first starts of his career in the Duracell Cup Series, and it only took him 5 starts to find victory lane. What a job well done for driver 88. Standings are indeed official. Dunnard, your winner. William Hoer, another solid outing. In 4 races, he had a 5th place average finishing position. He'll continue to decrease that with another top 5. Ali Liera led the most laps today, 34 in total, and she's going to bring it home on the podium in 3rd. RJ Bishop in 4th. Michael Norman cracks the top 5 late, getting around both Charles Sanford and Cole Deaver. Deaver and Sanford will finish in 6th and 7th. 8th place, Rick Johnson. James Qualls with another solid run here this week. He gets 9th. And Zachary Fitzwater brings it home inside of the top 10. We really didn't talk about driver 66 here today. Good run for that rookie. Keith Batson in 11th. Kyle Matthews 12th. 13th for Ryan Butcher. Nick Gunther, his Mazda, in 14th. And Caleb Fogler will finish in the 15th position. Carson Gunn was 16th, Jessica Shelton 17th, Chris Dollerton 18th. We'll have to see if that's enough to get him back above the 25th in the standings cut line. As completing the top 20 were Levi McIntyre and Austin LaPlante. You take a look at the rest of the drivers down here. Looks like the strategy call to come to pit lane under the second caution did not really work out for those that elected to do that. You had Reggie Fogelman back in 22nd. Matt Haas back in 25th, Miles in 28th, Banks in 30th, Rob Evans back in 34th. We know those were drivers that had played the strategy of tires over track position after the second caution, and they never really gained any of that track position back. Laura Chung was the last driver to finish on the lead lap in 36th. Jesse Turner finished 1 lap down, 37th, 2 laps down for Nathan Norman in 38th. Cody Lamas was very nearly the 3rd caution of the day, but did a nice job getting that car off the racing surface after a obvious header problem, mechanical problem for him over in turn 1. He DNFs in 39th and joined Benjamin Snyder, Noah Hendrickson, and Dylan Young back in the garage area for the conclusion of this race. Well, I'll tell you what, we've had ourselves a heck of a start to the season, and I feel like it's only going to get better. 5 races, 5 different drivers have gone to victory lane. Jack Dunnard, the latest of those, 3 races in a row where a driver's gotten their first career win in the Duracell Cup Series, and next week, let's spice things up a little more with some short track racing as North Wilkesboro Raceway makes its debut on the Duracell Cup Series schedule. What are we in store for? I cannot wait to find out. But thank you all for tuning into today's race here from Phoenix. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We showed you your full Fisher results, and these are what your point standings look like heading into next week. Congratulations once again to Jack Dunnard on the victory here in the desert at Phoenix. We'll see you guys next week at North Wilkesboro as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.